Hey guys, this is Rachel with Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to be making the Seville Square from the 2020 VVCAL. I'm starting with a slip knot on my hook, and then we're going to go with 3 chains as usual. You can do more chains, you can do a magic ring, whatever you prefer, and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook to close your ring. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just go straight into the center of my ring without chaining up or anything with a single crochet, and then actually it's going to be 8 single crochet total. And you're just going to make all 8 singles into that center ring and then slip stitch into the first single to close the round. Okay, so here I have my 8 singles in my center ring, and I've made a slip stitch into the first single, and now we're going to work into the next single crochet, not the one we joined into, but the next one with a beginning DC. So without chaining up, just go straight into that next single with a single crochet, chain 1, and that's going to be the first DC of our round. Then do 2 more double crochet in that same stitch so that there's 3 DC in that stitch total, including the beginning DC. All right, and now all you're going to do is work 3 doubles in each stitch all the way around till you're back to the beginning. Okay, so we're finished with the round, and now we're just going to join with a slip stitch into the beginning DC, and you're going to work into the chain 1 of the beginning DC with your slip stitch. All right, so now we've got 3 double crochet in all of the 8 stitches around, and into the next double crochet here, we're gonna work, okay, actually it's into the stitch that you joined into. So into the beginning DC that you joined into, you're gonna go ahead and make another beginning DC. So just go straight into that same chain that you joined into, make a single crochet, no chaining up, and a chain 1. And now we're gonna work effectively DC2 together. So the beginning DC plus the DC2 together is going to equal a beginning DC3 together. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next DC, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and then repeat that. Yarn over, hook into the next double crochet, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through two loops on the hook. So now you've got a beginning DC, and when you draw the yarn through all 3 loops on your hook, you've got a DC2 together. And those 2 things put together are gonna make your first DC3 together of your round. All right, so now we're just gonna chain 4, and now we're gonna make a regular DC3 together over these next 3 stitches. And you're working into all of your groups of 3 DC from your second round. So just yarn over, insert your hook into the next DC, pull up a loop, and draw the yarn through 2 loops. Repeat that twice more over the next 2 stitches. And now you've got 4 loops on your hook because you've got this loop right here that you didn't have when you made your beginning DC3 together. Draw the yarn through all 4 loops, and now your DC3 together is complete. So that's how you're gonna work this round, is just chain 4 and then DC3 together all the way around until you have 8 DC3 together stitches and 8 chain spaces. All right, and I'll back up and show you how it's starting to look. And then I'm just gonna finish up the round and let you guys see how it turned out. So here's how it's turning out so far. It's gonna come out looking kind of like a star or a flower. All right, so here's how our round looks when we're done. And we're just gonna join with the slip stitch, pick up the 3 loops that you had on your hook when you made your beginning DC3 together, and make your slip stitch in there, just to make it look like all of the others. So you can see you've got 8 points here and then 8 chain spaces. All right, so we're gonna work into this first chain space for our next round, and we're gonna make 5 singles, and no chaining up, just go straight into your first single and put 4 more to make a total of 5 singles. And then in the next chain space, you're gonna work 3 DC chain 2, 3DC. 3DC, chain 2, 3DC. Got a little knot here. There you go. And we're going to do that repeat all the way around. 5 single crochet, and then 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Alrighty, so my round is complete, and I did go ahead and make a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round. And into the next single crochet, we're going to start our next round. So we're going to make a beginning DC in the next single. And you'll see in this group of 5 singles, it's the second one. All right, not the joining stitch. Okay, so just go straight into a single crochet and then a chain 1. And that's your first DC of the round. And then make a chain 1, and that's going to be for a chain 1 space. So your repeat is going to be chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. All right, so then chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And now you can see it gets us to where we're at the corner. And when you get to the corner, you're going to chain 1 and then make DC, chain 3, DC for your corner. Okay, so that's how your corner is looking. So this is a whole eyelet round. Now chain 1, double crochet into this first stitch right here. And then you're going to start it again with the chain 1, skip 1, double, chain 1, skip 1, double, all the way across. Okay, just make sure you don't forget to skip a stitch in between. Chain 1, skip 1, double. And once I get to this corner here, I'm just going to show you how it's looking. And don't forget, for your corner, chain 1 and then double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Okay, so here's how it's looking so far. And you're just going to continue all the way around until you're back to the beginning. All right, our round is complete here, and I slip stitch into the beginning DC. Make sure to leave this chain space alone here and just work into that chain of the beginning DC here. Okay, so you can see how the round looks. And in our next round, it's just super simple. We're going to make single crochet in all of the DC and all of the chain 1 spaces across, and then when you get to the actual corner space, you're going to make 3 singles in that corner space. So just get started straight into this chain space with a single crochet, and just in all of the DC stitches and chain 1 spaces across, make your singles. And then when you get to your corner, place 3 single crochet in the corner. All right, and just work like that all the way around. Alrighty, so that easy round is finished. I slip stitched into the first single of the round, and now we're ready to have a round of these tiny bobble stitches that are created by making treble crochet in between single crochet. So the single crochets on either side of the treble push that treble down to make a tiny bobble on the front side of the work, and I'm going to show you how to do that instead of having your bobble show up on the back side of your work. Okay, so we're going to start with a single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so in the next stitch, not the joining stitch, make a single crochet, and then you're going to make a treble crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to see that it's hard to make the treble because the single is pushing it down. So your treble kind of curves over to the single. And you can see it like curving down to kind of bend down to the single. So in the next stitch, you're going to make another single crochet. And before you do that, you're going to push that treble to the front. And that's how you get it to be on the front side of the work. So push the treble to where, swing it around to where it's sticking out at the front, and then squish it down, and then make your single crochet in the next stitch. All right, so there's your treble sticking out to the front. Then make another treble in the next stitch. That. And another thing about it is your treble has to be nice and snug at the front here. So I'm going to show you a couple tips to do that. So with your finger, push the treble to the front, squash it down, and make a single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so now you've got 2 trebles here sticking out to the front. So a couple tips. If you make your treble super loose like this, and your yarn overs are very far apart, then you're going to end up with kind of a mess. So if you try to do it like that, and you go into your next stitch, everything's going to be very loose. So see, you've already got this gaping space in between where you're going to make your last pass there. And so then when you go to make your next single, people will often say, well, mine looks like a mess. So you can see how the third one looks loose at the top, and it's just not as much of a bobble as the others. So just be careful when you make your treble that your yarn overs are nice and close together. It doesn't have to be real tight, but they're nice and close together. And then when you pass through 2 loops on the hook, your treble should stick out to the side like that until you push it to the front, and then make your next single in the next stitch. All right, so there's the first 3 stitches there, and I'm going over this so much because I always get questions about it. So you're just doing single crochet in the next stitch and then treble crochet in the next stitch, and that's the repeat. So I'm going to make my next treble, and now I'm to the corner. So once you get to your corner single crochet, you're going to make 3 stitches in it. You're going to make a single, a treble, and a single. Okay. All right, so that's your treble. That's at the extreme corner of your blanket. And then all the way across the next side, you're going to keep going. Just make a treble and then make a single, all in the next chain space. Don't do treble, single in the same stitch. Not chain space, I meant stitch. So it's not that you're making treble and then single in the same stitch. The single goes in the next stitch. All right, next stitch, treble. Next stitch, single. All right, alternate between treble and single all the way across to make your bobbles. Okay, and I always get questions when I do this stitch that my bobbles are ending up on the wrong side of the work and things like that. So by pushing it to the front, you make sure it goes to the front of the work. All right, so just alternate between the treble and the single. And then I'm going to show you how it looks, and then I'll show you how the round looks when I complete. Okay, so my round is finished. You can see how it looks here. I'll let you see it for a little bit so you can count bobbles if you need to. Just make sure you've got the correct stitch count. And I joined with the slip stitch in the first single of the round. And now on the next round, all you have to do is make a single crochet in every stitch around. When you get to your corner treble, you're going to make 3 singles in that corner treble. All right, to finish off your square, that's going to be the very last round of the square. All right, so my Seville square is finished here. You can see I've got a single crochet in all the stitches around in the last round, except for in the corner treble, I've got 3 single crochets there. And I slip stitched in the first single of the round, and my Seville square is done. So this is from the 2020 VVCAL using shape katana yarn and a size 3mm hook. These are always on my website, forever free, cypresstextiles.net. And the playlist of videos is here on YouTube under 2020 VVCAL if you want to see more of these square videos. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.